Morning. Hey, Meg. Hey, Avery. Okay. Let's make some coffee. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. Let's make some coffee. How's everyone doing? Morning, Ray. Some of these are so hard to open. Okay, here we go. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. New coffee. Oh, that's exciting. What is it? I'm having same old coffee. But, you know, thrilled about it. I'm so glad you're live. I need your help. Uh-oh, what do you need help with? I hope it's a slime or a book question, so I'm not really hopeful with anything else, but you know, you can always feel free to ask, and I'll try. I have a cloud slime that feels like mashed potatoes. Oh, yeah. You just need air. Luckily, that's an easy one. It's just too wet. When cloud slimes get wet and condensed, they start to feel like that. It just needs to be air. Yes, tonight is Wicked Roll for Slime. Secret husband accidentally bought the sugar creamer, so it's just for him, not me. Sorry, Ella, I do not. Roll for Slime is only done through Patreon. At least my hand's covered in snow. Did you make it or did I make it? No, it's just that it's from Santa. That's funny. Hey, Tressa. Leaves your hands covered in snow. Oh, you bought it on Amazon. It's wet and it leaves snow. Oh, it's Nickelodeon. Oh, it's a store-bought slime. Oh, dear. Okay. That does change things a little bit. Let me think. Oh, gosh. Okay. So it's like losing a lot of snow and it's wet. It might not ever cloud, unfortunately, because it's store-bought. Some of the store-bought clouds never really cloud. It might be more like a cloud cream. So here's the thing that you kind of have to decide at this point, which is, it's a bit of a bummer, and I know that this is not the answer you wanted from me, but based on the ingredients that they put in store-bought slimes, you might have to choose between having the snow stay in or getting a drizzle out of it. And the truth is, it may never drizzle, right? So here, yeah, but Tressa, this is a store-bought slime, so it's a problem of ingredients, because they don't use the same ingredients we use, because they use other things to make them shelf stable. So we can't actually use the same methods that we use with homemade slime. Homemade slime, it's really easy to fix clouds. They're like one of the easiest things in the world to fix. But because store-bought slime has additional ingredients, oh yeah, no worries, Jem, I just want to be able to help you. So I'm going to give you your two options that I think you probably could do to end up with a good slime. It may not do what the clouds that you see on the internet do, but it'll still be good enough. So you can either do one of two things. You can air it out to try to get the drizzles, or you can add lotion or glue to get it to hold in that snow. If you add the lotion or the glue to get it to hold in the snow, you'll end up with a cloud cream, not a cloud, but at least it won't shed all over you, right? That's probably what I would do personally. I think it's the safer bet, but if you don't want to be safe, try the air thing and see if you can get a drizzle. I can't make any promises because of course I didn't make it, but I can hope for the best and cross my fingers for you. I've never had Nickelodeon's Cloud before. I've only ever had Nickelodeon, like regular slimes. I didn't even know they made Cloud. I'm actually kind of surprised to hear that, to be honest. Whoa. Sorry. Foam everywhere. I wish that I did know, because did you make the snow first or add the powder to the slime? So Nicole, it totally depends. What stage is your slime at? Sometimes I do add dry snow to my clouds, but it just depends on what I'm dealing with. And it also depends on the weather in your area, because slime is temperature sensitive. So that's a little bit iffy. But if you, generally speaking, like 9 times out of 10, I add the snow to water first. Generally, not always. Morning, Sloth. The unfortunate thing is, like, with a lot of stuff, like cloud stuff, yeah, of course. So clouds, I would say cloud, Nicole, just so you know, cloud will never drizzle if you add clay to it. It's just not going to do it. Well, let me say, not never say never, but like mostly it won't drizzle if you add clay to it. That being said, it is easier to make cloud slime with white glue than it is with clear glue, so I would start there. It's not that you can't make it with clear glue, it's just more difficult, right? So if you start with the white glue and move on to the clear glue, you're kind of like moving in the direction of more difficult, which helps a lot, I found. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. And you can add clay to cloud. It feels great. Oh, yeah, no, it feels great, Nicole. You just won't get drizzles out of it. Listen, I posted a video of one that has cloud in the clay yesterday, my pink hot chocolate. It's been a bestseller for 4 years. So this is not me by any means poo-pooing putting clay in cloud. I do it. I love it. I play with it. I'm just saying it won't drizzle. Which honestly sometimes is fine, right? Like Nickelodeon's in a library of childhood dreams. That's so mean, Becca. Why are you trying to hurt Nickelodeon? I said Nickelodeon slime. Oh, they did hurt us first. It's true. I combined my Dying Glinda and my cloud cream in November. It was amazing. Yeah, I agree. I think that would be amazing. That sounds fantastic to me. Thank you. We're homeschooled. We're learning non-Newtonian fluids and got stuck on slime. Yeah, it's a great thing. Nicole, just so you know, if you want to check my experiments tab, I have a whole bunch of kid-friendly science experiments that are like silly, you know, in there. Watching the snow inflate, as you know, is a great one. The science behind slime is so cool, and you can show them all different things about like what happens when you add shaving cream to slime and like how it changes the composition, etc. Was the Wicked Sleigh that was a mix of green and black? Are you talking about Elfa Butter? Maybe? Oh, I made too much. I've had your slime recipe for years. Oh, thank you, Nicole. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for saying that. That's a really kind thing of you to say. I have to tell you, Nicole, the reason you probably find that it's the best for what you're doing is because I literally checked it on an 8-year-old before putting it out, which I think is why people like it for their kids, because I sat the recipes in front of an 8-year-old that I know and I said, make these with no help and like I didn't give them any assistance, and I wanted to make sure that an 8-year-old with no instructions from an adult could follow the written instructions. And I figured like that's a good testing age, because anyone younger would have an adult with them, anyone older would be able to get it on their own. And so the thing of it is, well, if your kid can't read it, that's a different story, obviously. But what I mean is that, like, I handed her the recipe and I said, I'm just going to watch you, but I can't help you. I'm going to sit on my hands and I'm not going to help. And I think making sure that a kid could be successful with it without any assistance was really what made it, like, usable, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that was, like, my whole shtick with it, you know? I mean, it was a kid of someone I know. I didn't like find a random 8-year-old. Although that probably would have been better. A better check would be someone who doesn't know me. Yeah, Nicole, I love that. You know what's really funny? Is your 17-year-old a girl or a boy? And I'm only asking because I've actually found recently that a number of people in our group have teenage boys who are into slime, and I think that's so cool. Not that we don't love the teenage girls that are into slime, but it's like a little more known. I don't know. I just like had a good time finding out about the teenage boys. I don't know why, because it's like sweet that they're still into it. Made me happy for them. I was like, you know what? Have a hobby, enjoy it. Yeah, see, how cool is that? I love that. I think that's really sweet. It made me smile to think about that. I was like, you know what? I'm into it. Get down with your bad self, kiddo. I say kid to a 17-year-old, but to me, a 17-year-old is a kid, obviously. Anyway, that's the whole kit and caboodle. Yes. Do you guys, before we start, can I tell you something funny that happened with my nephew? So I bought the Rubber Ducky Advent Calendar for my niece and nephew as a gift this year. I wanted them to experience the whole Advent Calendar thing, and a Rubber Ducky one seemed like an across age safe thing, because you know, my nephew's only 1.5, but my niece is 4.5. So like, what's something that they can enjoy together that's not going to make a mess in my sister's house, yada yada. I landed on Rubber Duckies. Everybody likes Rubber Duckies, right? These kids take baths all the time. I actually got it here on TikTok, Ashley. I think you can just search it in the TikTok shop, like Rubber Ducky Advent Calendar, something like that. They love it, right? Okay. But the thing is, my nephew Ethan, being only 1.5, has not yet realized that the Rubber Duckies are safe in the bathtub. I don't know why, like, he can't clock that. And his older sister thinks this is hilarious. She knows Rubber Duckies belong in the bathtub, but he tries to rescue them from all the baths every time. And he like freaks out when they get in the water, and he's like, no. And so she taught him the term rescue mission. And so now anytime one of the duckies go in the bath, he screams rescue mission because Zoe is a menace and taught him rescue mission. I was like, what is happening here? This 4-year-old is a menace to society. She's wonderful. She's my favorite person, but like, so funny. I was like, okay, well, I guess the duckies don't get. I was like, Catherine, to my sister, I was like, did you tell Ethan that like a duck's defining characteristic is being waterfowl? Like, they love the water. She's the best kind of menace. It made me laugh so hard. But I mean, he's only 1.5. But just so you guys know, if any of you have never done an Advent calendar with your littles and you're looking for one, she said that the Ducky calendar was actually a big hit. They remember it every day. They go to look for their new duck every day. They play with the ducks together all day. So like, I mean, they are also, she's like a lucky duck herself because she got really easy kids, but it was a cheap calendar and it's made them happy every day. So like, I don't know. Whatever. It was an easy win for Aunt Sasha, I'll tell you what. Because every day they're like, Aunt Sasha, today we got a purple one. I'm like, okay, great. We love a purple duck. My little brother used to think the same thing about, really? Okay, so it's not just Ethan. Well, I'm really gonna look for it. I wonder when it would come. It did take a little while, but I ordered it back in November, so it didn't matter too much. But if you're ordering it now, it might be too late. You might have to do it next year, but it was great. They do like it. They have a great time. They're just like little mini Rubber Duckies, and it's a full 24. I don't even remember how I saw it. I just saw it on someone's page and I was like, okay, they probably like that. Oh, Amazon has them. The Amazon ones would probably come really fast. Yeah, or save it for next year. Exactly. They loved it or are continuing to love it. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Okay, so we are getting down to the end of our book here, you guys. But I did download the next book, so no stress there. If any, we're on chapter, he would rescue them and line them off on the edge of the tub so they're all safe. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. I got one for my friend with a Jeep. It's a thing. Oh, yeah, that works. Yeah, no, of course. If anyone has any friends who celebrate Hanukkah and want to join us for our next book is The Matzah Ball. Yeah. So we'll be doing that. So today we are on chapter 29 of How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. And let's get into it. All right, chapter 29. And as always, we begin with a poem from our illustrious narrator. Up Whistler Lane on the left side of the street, the two happy humpers kept things very discreet. They'd text, they'd call, they'd send naughty pics. I'm sorry, you guys, because coffee stuck in my throat in the middle of that line. They'd text, they'd call, they'd send naughty pics, all the while growing a bond through this season of sticks. And now that the last Kringle contest is finally here, I'm not so sure it will end with a Happy New Year. For someone is lurking, someone ready for the truth to come clean. Through the cheery Christmas decor, the bright red, white, and green. Okay, this chapter is from Story's perspective. All right, bye, Becca. See you later. How do my earrings look? I asked Tehran, showing off the Christmas tree earrings that I bought at the stalls when I was with Cole. Well, honestly, he bought for me. Festive, she says as she glances around the gymnasium, taking in the setup. Like every other competition, well, at least the non-performance competitions, the stations have been set up for each contestant. We were allowed to bring in judge-approved supplies, and then, like in the show Chopped, there's a pantry full of supplies like wrapping paper, string, tape, fabric, baubles, trinkets, sewing machines, a Cricut machine, irons, an ironing board, everything you might need to get crafty. And since this is the last competition of the Kringle contest, the gymnasium is decorated in a winter wonderland theme, dripping with lights, banners, fake trees, wreaths, and honestly, it looks breathtaking in here. Can you take note of the rugs that they have spread throughout the floor? Those are tripping hazards and we don't need you to fall flat on your face, Tehran says. Okay, I saw them, I say. Well, and remember what we practiced with the wrapping paper? Hide the seams the best you can. Yeah, of course, I say. And the stockings, don't get too close to the edge with the stitching or you're gonna fray the edge and lose the proper stitching. I know, Tehran, I say, annoyed because this is how she's been for the entire freaking day leading up to the competition. Hey, don't get snippy. I'm just trying to help, she says. Yeah, but you've said the same thing over and over all day. At this point, I can stitch the damn stocking with my eyes closed, okay? Well, please don't do that. I wouldn't, I reply just as I see Cole walk through the door with Atlas. They're decked out in ugly Christmas sweaters, jeans, and boots. They have their sleeves rolled up, and even though the sweaters are ridiculous, they make them look good. Especially Cole, since his has a giant reindeer with a red ball for a nose. How fitting. When he spots me over by Tehran, he grins, and then I catch his eye wandering over my outfit, a red velvet dress with green stockings and black booties. I tied my hair back into a tight bun on the top of my head so that it's out of my face while I work, and I stuck some holly into my bun for a little bit of flair. When his eyes meet mine, he wets his lips, and I feel my entire body heat up. The competition is almost over. It's Christmas Eve, so tomorrow the lights will be judged, and on Christmas the winner will be announced. After that, Cole and I are coming clean to my family, and then we're going to figure out where to go from there. I know Tehran's itching to get back home, but I'm more than willing to stay here longer. I don't have have to start work back up until the new year, which means I could spend the whole holiday week with Cole. I could even stay at his house at night and help out Aunt Cindy during the day. It would just be perfect. Just a few more days. A few more days to see how long-term this thing could be between us. Because, yeah, that's where my head is at. But I know I can't know exactly how long until I get a better read on Cole after the holidays. What are you looking at? Tehran says, startling me right out of my reverie. The flocking trees, the flocked trees, I say. Not sure why anyone would want to deal with that mess. I'm like, yeah, they're pretty, but like, I was just thinking about all the white stuff all over the house. Yeah, we found the scene, Claire. We did. She glances over at the trees and then back to me. Well, it's a nightmare if you ask me. Yeah, total nightmare, I say, just as Cole walks up to us with Max. Darling, lovely to see you, he says in a sarcastic tone as he leans and presses a kiss to my cheek. I cross my arms over my chest. Well, the feeling is mutual. Yeah, I can't remember what day it was, Claire. I feel like it was like last Thursday, I want to say. But I can find out. He nods at Tehran. How is the evil stepsister doing? It would behoove you not to address me in such a way, she says, and she looks both to Cole and Atlas, looking them up and down. I see you chose to wear your tight pants today. I hope they split when you're running around. Yeah, so do I, Cole says with a grin. Martha and May are judging this competition, and I know that they have a penchant for men popping out of their clothes. I hold back a snort that wants to pop out of my mouth, and I instead cover it with I hold back a snort that wants to pop out of my mouth and instead cover it with a smirk while I pretend to itch the bottom of my nose. I will have you know, we have been practicing day and night, and no one is more prepared to take this win than Story. Night and day, huh? I thought I saw Story around town. Couldn't possibly be all day and all night. Oh my God, Cole, I think. You know what I mean, Tehran says, hands on her hips. Just be prepared because she's bringing her A game. Oh, I'm shaking, Cole says and then comes up to me again, and this time he kisses me on the cheek, his face blocked by mine as he whispers, You look beautiful. I feel my cheeks blush as he pulls away. Don't trip over the rugs, he says as he moves away from us and over to the station with his name on it. He and Atlas look over the setup and move a few things around. He is so arrogant. I can't believe you've even allowed him near you the past couple of weeks. It's been a real travesty, I think to myself. All those beep boops, how dare he give them to me? Yeah, it's almost over, I say as Aunt Cindy makes her way towards us. Tehran spent some time curling her hair this morning at the dining room table while I speed wrapped. I was able to get the perfect wrap job done in 1 minute and 10 seconds. We're going to be judged by how fast and how accurate our wrapping is, so I think I have this one covered. Most importantly, Aunt Cindy said she wanted to look her best today, and therefore we found her a red turtleneck and paired it with a white and green Christmas vest and slacks. She looks like Aunt Cindy in all her holiday glory. I think we can win this, girls. Yeah, I think we can too, Tehran says. We just need Story to focus. I am focused, I say. Okay, I'm plenty focused. I'm gonna be less focused if you keep bothering me about being focused. All right, girls, all right. Maybe we should go another round and say something nice about each other, Aunt Cindy says, because I can feel the tensions are high, and we need to rely on each other, not battle. God, she sounds just like Mom when she's not sipping margaritas down in Cancun, that is. I'll start, Aunt Cindy says, taking both of our hands in hers. These past few weeks have been some of the best I've had in a long time. Her eyes tear up, and I can feel a wave of guilt pass through me for all the bad weeks that came before this one. I've thoroughly enjoyed being around you again, seeing your smiling faces in the morning, seeing you work together, enjoying the holiday season the way that we used to. It's meant so very much to me. And Tehran, you've been so wonderful taking care of me, helping me with my rehab. Not to mention, your precision with hanging the lights has been a sight to behold. Tehran smiles brightly, something I haven't seen in a while, and then Aunt Cindy turns to me. My dear Storybook, you were who I worried about the most. Me? I asked, confused. Why me?
Well, because I saw you shut down after what you went through with this town all those years ago. I saw that beautiful heart of yours shrink a size or two, and to me, that was a huge tragedy. You've always been the girl who loved Christmas, who'd spent every waking moment with me participating in the holiday season. So when I didn't see you come around anymore, I thought maybe you'd lost your precious and infectious spirit. I was. I think I was just trying to find myself. She pats my hand. I understand that, but seeing you here and seeing you smile, seeing you participate in the town crinkle competition has been so beautiful to witness. I'm just overjoyed that you competed in my honor. It means the world to me. Of course, I say. I want nothing more than to win this for you, Aunt Cindy. Thank you, she says sweetly, and then she glances at Tehran. Okay, your turn. Tehran lets out a heavy breath. Aunt Cindy, ever since I can remember, you've always made the holiday season fun, and this year's no exception. But what I like most were our conversations where you shared wisdom with me. I'll always cherish those talks. What talks? I thought. Tehran looks at me. Story, I don't say this enough, but I'm proud of you. What? I think? And why am I getting choked up by her saying this? You've overcome some pretty big fears by participating in this competition, and you've done it with grace and with excellence and with dedication that I know means a lot to Aunt Cindy. You've overcome some pretty big fears by participating in this competition, and you've done it with grace and with excellence and with dedication that I know means a lot to Aunt Cindy. I nod, my throat growing a little tight. Wow, okay. I wasn't ready to get emotional. Aunt Cindy squeezes my hand. But yeah, I mean, thank you for everything you guys said. That means a lot. And Aunt Cindy, you make Christmas what it is, what it always should be. I forgot that. I forgot how much I needed this holiday in my life and how much I needed you to be a part of it. And I can't believe that I stayed away for so long. I promise that that won't be the case moving forward, because you're why I have the magical memories that I have. A tear rolls down Aunt Cindy's cheek as she brings my hand up and presses a kiss to my knuckles. And now I turn to Tehran and take a deep breath. Tehran, I know we don't get along all the time, and there are moments when I think we don't quite understand one another, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate and love you, because like I do. I appreciate your warm heart and the way you without a question take care of anyone who needs help, the big and the small. I appreciate how you set aside your life to come visit me in California, even if all we do is sit around and watch Love Mark movies that I've edited. I appreciate you pushing me to be a part of this competition and being by my side during the process. I wouldn't have made it this far without you. Tehran softly smiles. You would have, but you wouldn't have had such a great light display. I laugh and I shake my head. On a light display that isn't fully done yet. Yeah, I just need to make a few tweaks. She pinches her fingers together. Can we have all the Crinklies please approach their stations? Bob Krampus booms through the gymnasium. Time to compete. Well, good luck, Aunt Cindy says. Don't forget to give yourself room with the thicker needles, Tehran says. Oh my God, Tehran, please. She holds her hands up in defense. Just a subtle reminder, just subtle. Cole. Narrator. He can't keep his eyes off her. She's much too pretty, and everyone can see it, even the judging committee. Will it make him lose? Will he forget how to sew? Will he only think about how she grips his beep boop and blow? Come on, can you not right now? I am trying to focus. Narrator. Says the man who keeps looking over its story with hearts. Come on, can you not right now? I am trying to focus. Narrator. Says the man who keeps romance. Am I supposed to look at her like she's a piece of trash hanging out of the dumpster? Narrator. Don't you get mouthy with me. I have control over your pants and I have no problem splitting them so your dilly-dong falls right out because oops, you forgot to put underwear on. Jesus Christ, man. Narrator. Lucky for you, I'm allowing you to wear a thong today, so when you bend over, everyone will see your choice of underwear. F no. Too late. On with the story. Dude, are you wearing a thong? Max asks as I pick up a piece of construction paper that I accidentally dropped on the floor. What? I say, pushing my sweater down and covering my ass. Max lifts my sweater and then tugs on the strap of my thong, snapping it against my skin. What the hell is this? Story, she dared me
while we were shopping the other day. She found it and she dared me to wear it today. Max studies me for a second, shifts on his feet, and then leans forward. Is it comfortable? Surprisingly, more comfortable than I thought it would be. Oh, nice, he nods. I've thought about trying on a thong before, but I never found someone to wear it for. Looks like you found someone who can appreciate a no panty line in your strut. Let me ask you, does it look like Santa's pants, buckle and all? You know, I would really rather not talk about this right now. Talk about what? Story asks as she approaches our stations, the competition ready to begin, and Max leans in and whispers, the thong you dared him to wear. Her eyes widened. You're actually wearing it? Now's not the time, you guys. We have a good portion of the town watching us right now. I look up to the crowd all decked out in their Christmas gear while soft holiday music filters through the gym. He's right. We can discuss thongs after we win this competition, Max says. You really think you're gonna win this one? Story asks, looking so damn adorable that I wish I could just skip the competition and take her back to my place. We know we are. We have a secret weapon prepping us. Oh? She asks, and who might the secret weapon be? My mom, Max says with pride. She's a sewing queen, and we're gonna make the best stockings that you've ever seen. You realize this isn't just about stockings, right? Story says. Yeah, well aware, Max says. Cole and I have been working on wrapping fake presents for years while we're at work on the farm. We could do that in our sleep at this point. Really? Story asks. I nod. Yeah, actually we are pretty good at that. And card making? Well, let's just say we've sold some at the farm before. Wait, seriously? I shrug. Yeah, there was a time in our lives where we needed to make some side cash, and Christmas cards were the way to do that. So we had a cart near the gift shop and we made enough to buy a PlayStation one year. Why didn't you tell me that? She asks. I don't know, we were busy doing other things, I say with a slight wiggle of my eyebrow. And Max leans in. He's referring to beep boobs. Story's lips go thin. I know what he means, Atlas. Thank you. Okay, I was just making sure, he says with a wave of his hands. Story, please get to your own station, Bob Krampus says as he takes the center stage. Story's station is right next to mine again, which is a blessing and a curse. I want to be able to sneak peeks at her, but I also don't want to get caught up in watching her. It's a fine line, and I'm sure Max will be on the lookout for me getting distracted. As Bob Krampus speaks to the crowd, laying out the rules of the competition today, I glance around the gym, noticing people from all over town. The Dankworth kids are sat in the very front, lined up from tallest to smallest, all wearing the same red polo and khaki pants. Kids are sat in the very front, lined up from tallest to smallest, all wearing the same red polo and khaki pants. Their hands are in their laps. Their parents are sitting at the judging table. To the left, Tanya is along with Jefferson Chadwick. Surprised he's here. Neither of them is talking to each other, but it's not that uncomfortable. Jefferson doesn't talk to anyone. Frank and Thackeray are in the middle, surrounded by friends. Yeah, I believe that's a thermos in Thackeray's hand, and I can only imagine what's inside. Sherry Conrad, the antique store owner, sports a very large hat blocking the view of some irritated people behind her, while Peach and Paula make their way up to the bleachers toward Frank and Thackeray, both of them carrying a thermos as well. The middle section here is going to get a little rowdy. And then there's Mr. and Mrs. Maxheimer, along with Felix and Ansel, Max's siblings. And when I make eye contact with them, Ida, Mrs. Maxheimer to you, waves at me with a huge smile and then holds out her phone to take a picture. And I wave back, and then I grab Max by the shoulders so she can photograph us together. And when she's done, she offers me a thumbs up. Losing my parents was the hardest thing I've ever had to endure in my life, but I will say this. Ida and Otto helped me immeasurably during that time, and honestly, they still do. Ida treats me like one of her own sons, always giving me hugs and kisses and treating Max and me like we're the same. And then Otto, well, he gave me a chance and a job and a place to heal when I was hurting the most. I'm really grateful for both of them. Okay, are you ready for this? Max says. I nod, ready to win this for my family. Yeah, I'm ready. And so the contest began, the Crinklies running round, Jimmy with the wrapping paper, Ursula with a frown. They cut and they taped and they cut, Cole stealing glances of Story's round butt. Beatrice sneezed and Jimmy says, bless you, while Ursula's haphazardly stuck her hair with the glue. There were ribbons and holly and Christmassy junk, while the crowd in the middle got very, very drunk. Bob Krampus called out the time was halfway done, and for now the dreaded stocking fun. The fabric was thrown, the thread tumbled to the floor. They pasted, they sewed, they ironed some more. Time's a ticking, But did that stop them? No. They simply said, we don't have time to sew. We'll simply glue instead. Ursula and the doctor used glue like pros. Jimmy stood bewildered, just scratching his nose. Story and Cole, they stuck with the thread, even though Story's stocking began to shred. Hands up, Bob said. His voice boomed through the air. They threw up their hands and they hoped with a prayer. The stocking was lacking, the cards were askew. Beatrice skipped red and green. She opted for blue. Who did it? Who won? Who proved to be best? Cindy bounced for results in her Christmassy vest. Story. I've never in my life felt so much adrenaline as I did in the last hour and a half. Holy crap. I'm standing next to Cole. Our items are placed on the judging table. Perusing gazes, taking every last detail and every last flaw. My wrapping was good, but it looked to be on par with everyone else's. My card was a beautiful depiction of a winter day in the country, but I even used some fabric and I added texture in my stocking. Well, it was looking really good until I sewed too close to the edge and I felt a tear. I could hear Tehran's groan in the gym when it happened because she told me not to. And sure, I might have glanced toward Cole right before it happened because I was impressed by the way he was sewing like a fiend, so perhaps I was a touch distracted and I attempted to cover it up with a patch, but I'm not honestly sure how the judges are going to take this. Beatrice struggled, and the theme of her blue and silver, although nice, it really doesn't speak to Bob Krampus. He's like a traditional red, green, and white man through and through. I mean, even I know that at this point. Ursula did excel in her wrapping, though. She did some weird technique that I've only seen done on Instagram. You know those people who record themselves wrapping presents for a living? Well, yeah, she channeled them and she did some like double fold technique. Honestly, it came out beautiful. Her card, though, average. And her stocking was a gluey disaster. We won't even get into her hair. And then there's Jimmy, the threat I never saw coming. He grunted and groaned, and he was the most vocal of the group, but looking at what he put out on the table, I'm honestly scared and impressed. He and Cole both seem to be the dark horses in today's competition. And the intricate embroidered stocking, the fact that he sewed it in time that we had, how is that even, like, how is it possible? Just how? Well, Bob Krampus says as he speaks into the mic, can we please give our Kringlies a round of applause? The crowd erupts and I feel chills spread down my arms. Even though it was hard and there were times that I wanted to stop what I was doing and just cry, I have to admit I am proud of myself because I did this. Bob gives a speech about everything we've gone through the last few weeks, and what feels like several minutes later, he clears his throat ready to report the results. I want to grab Cole's hand so badly. I want to tell him that no matter what happens, I'm proud of him, but I keep it still and stare out at the crowd. In 5th place, with her blue theme, is Beatrice Pettigrew. Yep, we all saw that coming. Coming in 4th, Bob looks up at us, making eye contact with me, and I feel my heart sink, is Ursula Kronk. Wow, okay, that was mean. Not very Santa-y of you, if you ask me. And this is where the judges struggled. Bob continues, we went back and forth because there were aspects of everyone's entries who we enjoyed, so we had to turn to the flaws. Shit. Coming in 3rd is Story Taylor. Fuck, that's not good. How many points is that? I glance over at Tehran and she's scribbling away in her notebook, probably calculating as we speak. Coming in 2nd, we have Cole and his holly jolly sidekick, which means Jimmy Short is our 1st place winner for this competition. Jimmy steps forward and raises his fist in the air as he pumps them up and down, victory puffing his chest as he points at the woman in the front, who I now know is his ex-wife. She blows him a kiss and he catches it while the crowd erupts. I glance over at Cole, my disappointment making me emotional because I don't even know if I'm running for 1st anymore. Now remember, Bob says, this competition isn't over. We still have the town vote on who's the most spirited of them all and the Christmas light display. Nothing is set in stone, so the next 2 days matter the most. Congratulations to our Kringleys and Merry Christmas to all. Together we all say a Merry Christmas and then we start dispersing. I glance at Cole and give him a sad look, which causes his frown to deepen, and he walks up to me. Hey, what's wrong? I see Tehran headed my way, so I say, meet me at the large tree over in the corner. He nods and takes off just as Tehran closes the space between us. You pushed the needle too close to the edge, she says. I sigh. I know, Tehran. I told you not to. I know, I repeated, but it's way more stressful than you think up there. You kept looking over at Cole, she says. Because he was using a sewing machine. It was loud and distracting, I say. Who knew that he could sew? Tehran folds her arms. That was annoying. But how did Jimmy win? She glances over at Jimmy, who's talking to his ex-wife. I'm gonna go inspect these entries. Okay, I say. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. While Tehran walks up to the table to do her inspection, I walk to the back corner where Cole is waiting for me, and when I reach the tree, he pulls me behind it and lifts my chin so I can meet his gaze. Hey, what's wrong? Lip quivering, I say, I messed up my stocking, and I know that's why I came in third. Tehran's not happy, and I have no idea what the points are adding up to. I've gotten third for the last 3 competitions, and honestly, this can't be good for me. You're 8 points behind, Cole says, clearly able to calculate it fast. There's still points you can earn. With our light display, have you seen it at Cindy's house? We are not taking first place with what Tehran has put together. It's about improvement, he says, not overall. So you might get a lot of points for improving on what you started with. Who knows? Did you make any improvements? He smirks at me. No, we fixed the lights that were oddly out when Paula and Peach came by. That brings a small smile to my lips. And tomorrow morning after Christmas Eve celebration, Max and I plan on putting some lights on the lawn, but nothing too fancy. If anyone has a chance for improvement, it's you and Tehran. If I were you, I would talk to her tonight and see what you guys can do to spruce it up, and then work on it all day tomorrow if you can. Yeah, that's a good idea. I heave a sigh and then lean into him as he wraps his strong arms around me. God, I was so distracted by you. He chuckles. Was it the sewing? It was. I look up at him and rest my chin on his chest. The sinew in your forearms was popping as you pushed the fabric through. Honestly, it was really hot. Is that right? Should I sew naked for you later? I mean, I would say yes, but aren't you going to Atlas's tonight? Oh, yeah, right. Well, when this is all over, then I'll sew naked for you in this thong that you made me wear. I laugh, feeling lighter already, and I slip my hand down the back of his pants, hand passing over the thong. I honestly can't believe you wore that. Anything for you, Story. Anything. Chapter 30. What a shame. Story's stocking was a shreddy fail. Surely this can't be the end of her holiday tale. It's not because there's something you did not see, something tricky, something sneaky, something not so jolly. Cole. What if, I say as I shift on my air mattress and look at Max as he snuggles into his pillow on the air mattress, which is lined up beside mine, we don't make any improvements to our lights display tomorrow. Max pauses and stares down at me. The family's asleep after a fun night of games, cookies, eggnogs, and a fire in the fireplace has now died down to embers. The Christmas lights on the house are sparkling through the curtains. Why on earth would you not want to be? He sits up a little taller. Is this because of Story? I groan. Dude, no, you should have seen her today. She was devastated. Well, then maybe she should have performed better. I quirk an angry eyebrow at him as he continues. I mean that with respect, but it's not our fault that you've become a master with the sewing machine, or that your card-making skills are unmatched, or that you're able to wrap presents perfectly in under a minute. We can't hide ourselves from the light to make someone else burn brighter. Really, Max? You sound like an ass. Because I want to win? Because you dragged me into this out of your own spite, and now that I'm invested, I'm just supposed to turn down the heat? Dude, I sat like a dog in shorts that are too small in front of my whole town. I didn't do that for my own enjoyment. No, I know. I press my hands to my head, frustrated as I lie on my pillow. I hate seeing her like this. Her sister was all upset, and I just wanted to help her. Max sits there silent, and I can see the wheels turning in his head. What if this is all a ploy, and she's pretending to be upset so you'll drop out or something so that she can win? Atlas, I say with a stern voice, that's not what she's doing. I know you want to think that, but just help. Man, I'm watching out for you, okay? I appreciate that, but Story wouldn't hurt me like that and betray me. I know her. I felt the way that she is around me, and I can tell when someone's using me and when someone's actually, when someone actually likes me. Were you going to say in love? He asks. I don't know, maybe. I drag my hands over my face. Just trust me, okay? Story's not using me. She's just upset that she's been struggling the last few competitions, and she's under a lot of pressure from her Aunt Cindy and Tehran. Okay, Max says skeptically, but you know Cindy, I think she'll do whatever it takes to win. She's been desperate for that title. She could be pulling the strings on this. She's not going to mess with me or mess with someone's heart. Well, if that's the case, then I say we proceed with lighting up the town, lighting up the lawn tomorrow. We want to win this, don't we? Yeah, sort of. I mean, the need to win isn't as strong as it was. I do kind of think I'd rather see Story win. No! Max groans. Cole, please, for the love of God, don't give up now. We're 8 points ahead. That's hard to catch up to. All we have to do is stay above the bottom 2, and we are solid. This is a win for us. Just see this through, and if anything, do it for me. We've been through a lot, and now that I'm invested, I want us to win this. Hell, when he puts it like that, he has done a lot for me, and I want nothing more than to show Max how much I appreciate him. All right, you're right, I say. You're right, man, I'm sorry. Let's Let's try to win this thing. His smile lights up as he holds out his hand. Yeah, let's win. I stare down at his hand and then back up at him. Am I supposed to hold your hand? You're supposed to shake it in celebration. That seems weird, I say. He curls his hand into a fist. Then a fist bump? He picks up his pillow and whacks me right in the face. How about that? I blink a few times and then turn toward him. Oh, you're dead. He squeals and rolls away. Whisper shouts, don't wake my dad. He'll kill us. And if you wake him, I'm going to tell him about your thong. I stand in front of the air mattress and we face off with the coffee table between us. I'll tell him I borrowed the thong from you. Wearing another man's thong? Cole, where are your standards? I lunge at him and he sidesteps, causing me to crash into the end table. Hey, what's going on down there? Mr. Maxheimer calls down from upstairs and Max whispers, oh, now you've done it. You're effed. I sigh as we hear heavy footsteps coming down the stairs and in a conciliatory tone I say, you were right, dear. Oh, this segment is from Tehran's perspective. We've never had a segment from Tehran's perspective before. Well, that's new. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Tehran. I stare up at the ceiling, my mind racing, my heart pounding, the thought of betrayal passing through me. How could she? Is this why she's been slacking, getting third in the last few competitions? Because of him? To say I was surprised when I saw her being pulled behind the tree in the gym was an understatement, but when I saw who it was, anger reached its tipping point. It was supposed to be a farce. They were supposed to be faking it, but from what I saw, Story is fully immersed and happy in his arms. And I should have known because all the signs were there. The way that she watched him up on stage when he thrust his pelvis at the audience, she practically drooled. And when she went on that date with him, she wasn't as reluctant as she should have been. Not to mention after the candy cane making, she was gone for a very long time. She claimed it was a pothole, but was that the truth? And then, oh my God, when I caught her coming back into the house, was she really coming back from checking the snow? Or was she coming back from spending the night next door? I sit up in bed remembering the footprints in the snow leading from Aunt Cindy's house to his. And the bruise on her neck. That wasn't a bruise, that was a hickey. I pound my fist into my pillow, all those strolls in town, all that wasted time. She must have been spending it with him. Of course that's what she was doing. How could I have been so dumb, so naive? They've been seeing each other and... I paused, my mind racing some more. Hold on. He's in first place, contest after contest. He's been better and better, running with all the points and making it pretty damn hard for anyone to catch up to him. How convenient that his biggest competition has slowly been taking the fall when she was out in first before. I reached for my notebook on my nightstand and flipped through the notes that I'd been taking, and I was right. After the fruitcake festivus, that's when things started to go downhill. The next competition was the candy cane making, and that's when she fell into third. He helped her in that competition. Why would he do that if he wasn't trying to prove something, trying to sabotage her? He knew she'd lose points for getting help from another competitor, and she did. But she looked grateful, happy that he was there to help. From there on, she never edged past third, and that's when she started to disappear more and more. That's when they were spending more and more time together. I throw my legs over the side of the bed and I grip my forehead. How could I have been so dumb? How could I have let this happen? He took advantage of her. He must have known she had a crush on him back in the day when we were young and used that to his advantage. And he wasn't even shy about the way he used her. He said their fake relationship was for the town and it would help them both in the competition, but somewhere along the way he kept it fake and she fell for him. I stand from the bed now and go to my window where I open the curtains and stare over at his house covered in those garish green lights. How dare he? How dare he mess with her? How dare he mess with Aunt Cindy's chances for the title? I can't allow this to happen. Something needs to be done and I know exactly what to do. So she strapped on her boots, her coat colored in tan, with one thing in mind: I will destroy this man. And then she loaded up her pockets with hammers and pliers and took to his house, ready to mess with his wires. She pounced through the snow, empty bags in her fists. He'll regret ever messing with her, she hissed. And then propped up a ladder alone in the dark. In the distance, a rowdy dog let out an ear-splitting bark. She froze and she waited, and when the coast was clear, she ascended the house to remove all Christmas cheer. She snaked and she snuck with a smirk quite unpleasant around the whole roof, and took every twinkling light present. A pop and a flop, the wires tumbled to the ground. Payback was served, and oh joy she quickly found. And then she slunk to the porch. She took every bulb, every light. She took every Christmas decoration, purely out of spite. She laughed, oh how stupid is he going to feel when he sees what I took, what I was able to steal. She took every decoration, and she took it in a flash, and then walked up to the garage and threw it in the trash. In the morning, when they wake, I'll know just what they'll do. The brohards on Whistler Lane will both cry boo-hoo. She dusted off her hands and headed back into the town, while every crinkle in Crinkletown slept, even the street mouse. Dun, dun, dun. Sad. So I don't know, because obviously, no, I haven't read ahead, but I think Max and Tehran both think that the other is using the other, and I think neither of them are. And I think Tehran just sabotaged Cole, and I think when Max sees that, he's gonna sabotage Story, and I think Jimmy's gonna take it in the end. I don't know. Obviously, no spoilers. I never read ahead. That's my guess. And then hopefully the two of them won't care and they'll live happily ever after. I don't know. It's very sad. Very sad. All right. I gotta go because I gotta get ready for Restock. Restock is at 11 for Patreon and 3 p.m. for the public. But I gotta go get ready for that. And I will see you all later. Don't forget, we have Wicked Roll for Slime here at 4. It's gonna be great. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.